Alright, so I wanted to make a video on this game, in particular, on how to, like, my general pieces of advice I could give for playing Gunhead. And originally I had a bunch of stuff pre-recorded that I was going to stitch together to make a cohesive video. But then the hotfix came out that fixed the stealth mechanics quite a bit. And basically they whatchamacallit, basically rendered a lot of my points invalid or irrelevant at that point, or outdated. And since I'm not very good at recording voiceovers anyway, and just in general doing that kind of stuff, like voiceovers or reading scripts, I'm kind of just gonna read from a list of things I have and go over the points I have as I'm playing and doing some of these missions that have been really tedious, just so maybe I can get them done before I do a stream today. And in general, I just wanna just share everything I can to help other people play Gunhead, because I feel like he's one of the more difficult characters right now. And even after this update, he's still pretty difficult, but disclaimer, I just like playing Gunhead. I don't know all the ins and outs of the games, or I don't know all the mechanics, or the metas, or whatever, or the best strats. I just play the game the way I enjoy. In fact, I'm reading a script right now, but yeah, I play in a way that many others you probably shouldn't, and many others would agree is pretty bad. Some of the information I might be wrong, or opinionated, or just this is just all the best advice I can think of to give, because I want to contribute to the community for this game, help bring awareness to it, in general help other people enjoy the game. So for starters, I just like on a base value, I guess we can show off right now, which is I mean, from what I can tell, I can't exactly look because my character's prestige, but Gunhead has the highest base HP and carry weight out of any of the characters before they start investing into prestiges, and then like their skills. Like for example, Scab Girl, she can invest into her sprint speed. Mask Man, let's see. No, not him. I think it's Shaman. Yeah, Shaman can also get higher carry weight and higher sprint speed. As well as as of right now, Gunhead's the only one who has a skill that they can use, which is their Gunhead, which is an active ability rather. And they have the drawback that they have a higher detection reading of 12 meters, and they cannot be healed or revived. Now, when I say detection range, that does not mean that they can hear me from 12 meters away. That means if I'm standing out in the open and there's an enemy walking towards me, they are not going to see me until they are at least 12 meters away, whereas other characters would be just fine at 6 meters. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's double the range of every other character in the cast, which means they're less likely to get detected when walking out in the open. As well as Gunhead cannot perform assassinations by sneaking up on random enemies that don't detect you by pressing the melee button, whereas other characters can. And for movement speed, we're just gonna test right now. We're gonna go from like right here, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. So like this turret. It's like about 5 seconds to reach there. Just by default sprint speed, and then we switch to other characters. I think Gunhead's like just about average in terms of other characters. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. It's about 4 seconds for old man. And let's see. Pretty sure Scab Girl is gonna be Scav Girl and Shaman are be pretty up there. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. About 3 seconds for Scav Girl. Let's see. Then we've got Maskman. Also, I'm not very good at editing, by the way. I'll do my best after recording this just to kind of stitch together the show the best. To make it more cohesive and less lengthy, but again, I'm just doing the best I can. I do the best I can. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Hey, so Maskman is kind of on at the same speed as what's his face, Gunhead. We got Shaman. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Okay, Shaman's pretty like around the same speed as Scav Girl, and then we got Bagman, who's pretty slow. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's basic movement speed. Now, for weapons, Gunhead can use any and all weapons in the game. He doesn't have to spend a point in order to be able to literally use them. Whereas some other characters might have to put experience points into being able to use a gun. And same goes for rigs. Gunhead can use any rig in the game by default, whereas other characters like, let's say, Scav Girl has to put points into getting better rigs. I guess I should showcase the gun thing as well. Like Bagman, he can use quite a few guns, but let's see, he has to put some points into grenade launcher before he can actually use them, whereas Gunhead doesn't have to do any of that. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, I have notes here. Let's see. I think I went over all that. Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna go with the pros. Going back over to Gunhead. Where is he? I basically covered all the basics for Gunhead. Now for the pros, his gun. I guess we can get into a mission to do this. And then I'll showcase what he can do. Let's see. Quests. Yeah, we're trying to do this stupid connecting the dots. It's been really annoying. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're also gonna go over maps, the best maps to go into, and what routes to take. Or not the best maps, but like the best routes to take for each character. I mean, well, not for this character, but basically, we're going to I'm going to be taking the best routes, in my opinion, for Gunhead to take that are the safest, which, just for him, in general, these routes can also apply to other characters, but starting with Scorch and Clave, you want to start from the cemetery, because then your extract's going to be near the cliffs at the pipes, which is you'll be passing through an open area. It's really safe, for the most part. Like, it's going to be hard for you to accidentally run into enemies. And then, if you're, depending on the rig you're carrying, let's say you're carrying the rack or the medium equipment runner, I'll show you. Hold on, let me just grab my weapons and ammo. There's this little spot off to the left that will usually have like 1 to 3, anywhere from 1 to 3 explosives just sitting on the ground. Usually has gacha boxes sitting around it as well. So that's an easy way to get a bunch of money. We're just doing that route over and over. But for starting with pros, already went over the base HP. But yeah, oh yeah, Gunhead's base HP also is high enough to survive. Well, I mean, especially when you start besieging. I don't know if it's like this for other characters, but he can survive a few hits from a grabber. The enemies that usually insta-kill you, if you haven't taken any damage. Like right now, I could take 2, maybe 3 hits from a grabber before it insta-kills me. Let's see, I already covered that, but yeah. For my Gunhead, with how it works, it doesn't lock onto certain enemies, like grabber, or maybe grabbers, I don't know exactly, but like exos, mechs, tanks, choppers. I don't think it'll lock onto, okay, yeah, it'll lock onto that. With how the gunhead works, it depending on which version you're using, it'll have an effective range and it'll lock on at. And it can lock on to not every enemy, most of them. But the best thing is if you're meleeing, reloading, running, jumping, even if you're getting staggered, you can shoot this gun. So if you're in a scenario where you're getting staggered and you're like getting shot by a shotgun or a sniper or taking a bunch of damage, you'll be able to get yourself out of a situation where some of your characters might not be able to. And you can also fire it in time with your primary. What the fuck is going on over there? Yeah, you can fire it just... You can fire it at the same time as your primary, meaning you can double your firepower. And you get the PP90, or I'll show what guns you get once we get back to the main base, but hold on. What else? But yeah, base, it also carries its own ammo, so you don't have to worry about carrying anything for it. And it can also alert you to flanks, because sometimes it'll lock out like that. I'm facing this way, but you see how it's looking to the right? Right there. It's alerting me to those enemies that, well before I can even hear them. Especially since while I'm talking, but it can just help you have more situational awareness, which Gunhead really needs, since it can be really difficult for him to survive multiple encounters if he gets chipped out a lot. Because you don't want to get into open areas where there's no cover, because that's when he's at its weakest, because he needs the cover in order to be able to survive. And drones, you do not want to engage with if you can. Most of your Gunhead's weapon types aren't going to be very effective of dealing with them if they're at too far range. Plus, with how high they can go into cover, above your cover, and how far they can shoot, they'll basically whittle you down, and because basically any damage you take is permanent. Some downsides with such cons with the Gunhead is it chooses its targets automatically, which I guess we're moving on to cons now since I'm at it. Gunhead targets automatically, meaning it has a bad habit of targeting civilians that are being tied up. And if you don't rescue them, they're very likely to get caught in the crossfire by your Gunhead shooting at them, rather than target enemies that are actually closer to you or right in front of you. Which would be real, as well as when you're playing online. This is something that I'm sure everyone is aware of, and the devs are as well, and they're working on the fix. Is that fully automatic weapons tend to lag or stutter or not fire fully automatically when you're playing online due to how lag works in this game, which is very inconvenient. I also forgot to change my rig, but you know, it's fine. But it basically makes them useless, as they aren't very effective if you can't fire them at a full rate. Let's see, yeah. And also, once you run out of ammo for your Gunhead, you cannot refill it, so that's also something you have to watch out for. But usually, by the time you run out of ammo for your Gunhead, you should be at your extract, so you can manage it carefully. Oh, right now they're detecting me. Hold on. I'm just gonna try and keep my distance. Nope, they see. Alright, they want the smoke.
Enemy contact.
Yeah, right now I don't have any cover, so I'm in a bad spot. But if I can lure them over here, use corners, hallways, close quarters, anything you can to make it as tight of a fight as possible. Are they gonna forget about me? Probably not. Yeah, I have no idea. I was supposed to be looking for this thing right now, but I've kind of just been... It's hard, because again, it's also, like, hard for me to focus on what I'm doing and talk at the same time. At least, talking about, like, a subject of things I have written down. So I kind of just been staring around doing this, but... For the most part, yeah, let's see. Was that everything I covered? Yeah, okay, that's so far. Alright. Now, next thing I have in my list is changes I would make to... These aren't, again, I know nothing about game design. I don't know nothing about balancing. I don't know what plans that the devs might have for changes for their characters or the game in general. Maybe this is set in stone, or maybe they'll be open to feedback in ways that they can change how characters play or make them more unique. But for me personally, I would allow healing for Gunhead in the form of, let's see, what was that? Okay, let's try killing him and see. Let's kill these guys real quick, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Let's see, what do we got? Like, tool gun, advanced tool set, tool cases. Use Gunhead. I would make it where Gunhead would be able to use those for healing. Meaning I can't buy them, but I can find them. And they kind of function how food does for the other characters, where it's not going to be... maybe it's not substantial, unless, like, the more expensive and more valuable it has, the more heal value you'll get from it. Meaning you're choosing either to give up your healing for your money and loot for healing to give yourself some more survivability, for Gunhead at least. That way I would be able to keep myself in the fight longer, but I'd have to actively go out and scavenge the healing materials that I need rather than just bringing them in like other characters can. Let's see. And for the Gunhead itself, the only change I would make is making it where rather than it locks on automatically by default. Let's say I'm aiming, right? And rather than choosing something off to the side or behind me or like some civilians that are right there, even though the enemy's right there, it'll focus on whatever is in between my crosshairs right now. So that way I can effectively concentrate my fire like I normally would on enemies that I'm walking into, instead of having worry about it going off to the sides or targeting something that's out way over there and it's not going to be really effective for me. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah, maps I'll show off what are the best routes to do. Right now, yeah, Void Drones, they're not worth it. They're, like I've already went over why, they're not good engagement to take. But not needing healing means you also don't need to worry about picking it up or even bringing it. I mean, you can afford to have more room for more loot, like such as ammo or, well, whatever I have here. Or you can bring it and save it for other characters. That way they can take advantage of it once you start playing other characters. Let's see. Oh yeah, surplus weapons. A lot of people are aware that they suck, but they're free. There's no risk to losing them. And for Gunhead, I find... Oh yeah, another thing that Gunhead can't do that others can is aiming down sights. So, because right-click would normally make aim down sights, but for me, I just aim like this, and I honestly prefer it this way, because I've gotten really good at it. Is I'm able to just aim effectively at whatever I'm looking at down this way. As I, like... Yeah, I find it easy and fine to aim with the... sort of this kind of crosshair regardless of not being aimed outside, because I can get those headshots pretty easy regardless. But surplus weapons, like, even if it has small magazine size, it's even with the surplus rifle with surplus ammo, it can one-shot the cyborgs in the head, and the basically any enemy that doesn't have any armor, in like 1 to 3 hits in the head. So again, you're gonna be able to take down most basic threats just fine, which leaves your Gunhead to deal with any real threats like brawlers or EODs. So you're really not that much of a disadvantage. Of course, you have the 12-gauge shotgun for other enemies, or when you're tight quarters with you can take advantage of corners and whatnot. But yeah, your Gunhead's gonna be able to focus on anything that take care of anything that your basic weapons wouldn't be able to. And while being, and for the time being, until they fix the lag with how automatic weapons work, you'd rather off playing Gunhead solo, because you want to be able to rely on your Gunhead's fully automatic capabilities to really get the best value out of it. Otherwise, I mean, having other players does help take the aggro. You can take on more enemies, but you will have to share loot and all that. And it's like, it just comes down to your preference. I'm used to playing by myself and either getting runs where I die or not. We're just gonna go for the extract right now, actually. Ooh. Okay, we made it. We're fine. Yeah, we're good. Alright, we're leaving. Because then I go over the other points that I have for Gunhead as well. But yeah, anyway, let's blah blah blah. Yeah. Do the high carry? Yeah, for how I like to play, depending on the rig I'm bringing. Like, for the Pack Mule is probably your best bet. It's super expensive to get, and you're gonna have to save up a while for it. But once you get it, with how I play the game, I kind of just pack rat everything. And you basically walk in with rags, walk out with riches. Where you basically loot all, and you don't look at any of it, and you just do that until your inventory's full, and then extract. That's how I usually play. And while it's inefficient, it's easy, it's fast, you don't have to worry about taking your time to loot stuff, which means you have more time to just get in, get out, and whatever loot you can. Let's see. But with the most recent update that they made, while stealth is technically more difficult for Gunhead, it's definitely a lot more manageable. It's still your best friend. It'll help you avoid fights that you wouldn't normally want to take, that might kill you, or it would just leave you in an uncomfortable situation. That's something to keep in mind if you can. Use stealth to your best of your abilities. And let's see, especially with how since they fixed how enemies detect you at certain elevations, it's now easier to avoid enemies by taking ladders and stairs, or not ladders, but like going up high and keeping them low, and that way they can't detect you, and vice versa. I haven't messed with the crews too much, but that's just, I mean, maybe they're worthwhile if you can keep them alive, because they can draw aggro, and that's just extra firepower. And of course, the Scab Mule is extra inventory space, if you're really willing to. Oh yeah, I need to show off the Gunhead's skills right here. He gets the AP C9 Pro variant, the AK variant, the Gunhead RPD variant, and the AA-12. As far as I'm aware, they have the exact same stats as said weapons. And the ACP-9 Rogue has like 200 ammo, AK has like 150. The RPD has like 200, and then, or something like around there. And obviously the AA-12 has like 50 shots. But the unique thing about this character is that you can swap between these skills. Whereas, once you usually buy a skill, you can't uninvest in them, or you can't get rid of them. He can, I mean, maybe it's not that unique, because maybe with other characters, they'll have something like this, but depending on how you want to play, and what guns you're actually bringing, you can choose to bring, like, the AEPC-9 Pro, the AK variant, or the AA-12, and just put them, depending what map and what weapons you bring, that can better suit you than just going to the A12, which is what I usually do. What else? I mean, this is just a summary, and basically everything I've been talking about is, yeah, I'm just gonna show off the routes now, I guess, for how I would play with Gunhead that are the safest for him. Discourse Enclave. We're gonna go to the Elephant Mausoleum. Right, we need to swap my rig. Yeah, usually grab the Pack Mule, since it's very easy for me to just stuff all these containers with whatever loot I can grab and then get out. And mind you, these are the safest. They are not guaranteed to not have enemies, and with how maps can be different every time, you might run into something that will give you trouble. But I'm going with the routes that are the most consistent and safe for me as Gunhead. Yeah, you think I usually like starting in the pipes. No. No, yeah, you want to start in the ruins, because that means you have the sewer extract available, because that's your best, which is near the medical trenches, which is usually safe and easy to get to. So we're gonna do that one next. But the way I use Gunhead, especially early game, I learned, which you're gonna have to learn how to use those weaker variants of the Gunhead, is when you are not shooting with your primary, like you're in the middle of reloading, use the Gunhead to either finish off targets or to stagger them, like use them as a suppressive fire until you're done reloading, so you can resume rely using on your rifle. I might be able to showcase it here while I'm playing, but right now I'm just going to show you the best route that I take for getting from this map one entry point to the extract. And I find this is the safest way to go and easiest one to take. Usually. It's not guaranteed, because you never know what we can run into. Again, you have like... I have drones that are... Yeah, like that. But a lot of what... Contact. Yeah, I'm being shot at right now. Yeah. A lot of what comes down to that will keep you... I'm sorry. What's going to keep you alive in this game is map knowledge, spawn knowledge, knowing what routes to take. And knowing, like, knowing the enemy spawns, like, down there in the hangar, there's always going to be a group of enemies along with an exo, Europe and exo, so you don't want to go that way. You want to go around this way, because there's going to be a hole over here, or at least you want to get into those medical trenches. But keep in mind, usually in those medical trenches, there's going to be a grabber of some kind, so you have to watch out for that as well. Watch out for enemies. Also, aiming like this also highlights things for you, so you can also... It goes through walls, usually, so you can use that to your advantage to help you keep advantage of any enemies that might be ahead of you, if you want to avoid them. Like right there, see, there's Europe and Exo. Yeah, it's getting pretty heated here, but with all these branching paths in the trenches they can also climb out of, it's not that difficult to avoid these enemies. We're just gonna keep running till we get these medical trenches. Because right now I'm just focusing on extracting, and if I can find loot along the way, like the Scotch box, I will take advantage of that. Crawlers and scramblers. I use a shotgun since it's too inconsistent to try and go for headshots on them. Which is one of the rare instances you'll actually get to use your shotgun. Although you can one-shot them with melee attack as well, but it's if you're bold enough and not afraid to lose some HP. If it's not consistent. Grab all that. Yeah, just keep pushing forward. Grab all this loot. Don't even look at it. Some of it's going to be garbage, but a lot of it, if you get enough of it, it doesn't matter. And now I'm just going to run down to here. Take this route. Or you can get in the medical trench any other way. But now, here, we're basically safe. We're in the home stretch. And we're going to be able to get out just fine as long as we pay attention to our surroundings. But keep in mind, there's usually a grabber down here. But it can't go up these stairs. It can't go through these doors that are this size. It does have a magnet hand. Like, it has a long reach. So sometimes you'll get magnet hand into its grab. So keep that in mind. But for the most part, take advantage of these doors that you can also open and close if they don't break. And most of these rooms have a little, like, passageway that lets you go in like this. I'm going to close this. Which also means you can also just cut yourself entirely from enemies if you need some breathing room. Like if you need to go AFK, or if you need to actually look through what you're grabbing and all that. And sort into your inventory. Because sometimes, if you want, you can do that, and pick all that back up, and then you can see what you pick up, and drop anything that's not worth value. But now, I'm going to go back up here. Just going to focus on trying to get to the extract. We got plenty of alternate paths. We can duck into a room, close the door behind us if we need to. It's very easy to stay safe in this map. So you shouldn't have to worry too much. Go here. Close the door behind me so that way the XO can't get in. And grab all these medical supplies. I don't really care what's in them because... Oh, watch out for that. See, there's only one way in. It's right there. And it's a very easy funnel point I can choke point them at. I can headshot them, and each time I do, they'll usually just stagger and fall backwards off of that, and then you can just loop them into that. Very easy to farm them here. Which is what I'm going to have to do in order to stay alive right now. Right there, I'd use my gun head to keep myself covered while I was in the middle of reload, so that way they couldn't shoot at me or do too much damage. Right there, I was still reloading, so I used the gun head to keep myself covered, as well as finish off the target. We're gonna just do this until we're safe. And there's this because there's literally only one way in right now, I think. Oh wait, no, this is not that start closer. Okay, we should be good. Wait it out. Alright, we're good. Now, for Brave, we can get all these supplies. I close that door. I don't think the EXO can get in here through that door. Maybe. No, they can't. If the double doors are open, the EXOs can fit through to get inside these rooms. So you to keep that in mind, along with grabbers. But for the most part, they won't be able to get through the small doors. Which means I'm free to loot all these supplies. Or pick up any of these weapons if I had the rig for it, but I don't. Alright. And now we should be good to leave. Or loot any of these extra containers. Probably good to just leave with how close that EXO is. There's also this medical bay here, which if you hack open, there's a keypad there. You have to get right up against them in order to open them. And if you do, there's usually a lot of... well, I suppose I could try it right now. Just keep in mind, you are vulnerable at doing this, and enemies might show up while you're doing this. I think it's this one? It's hard to tell that angle. That, and then... Yep, right, enemies over there. Enemies are very likely to show up while you're doing this, so keep that in mind if you're by yourself. If you have other people playing with you, you can keep yourself covered. Okay, we're gonna be able to get this one now. Let's see, do that. I think it's this one, and that one. Usually also, whenever you open this, usually a bunch of Eurasian scramblers will show up to harass you, so do keep that in mind. Probably close this door behind me. Sometimes you won't be able to, because again, depends on whether or not the door breaks or not, but I'm going to do so that I can live here in peace. Grab everything here that I can. Again, I don't really care about looking at any of it because I have so much room. I should be able to carry it all with relative ease. Like you can hear the scramblers right now. They usually like to run over here once you. They usually get spawned in and then they'll just run over. But now I should be good to head to the extract. My inventory is pretty full. I'm quite happy with this haul. Or it can just be a regular cyborg. It depends. Usually there aren't any cyborgs in these trenches, so they only show up once you hack open those doors. Usually, yeah, I can hear more right now. Yeah, but they're being derpy, so we're not going to worry about them. Let's check a few of these containers. Oh shit. Okay, I don't know how he got in here, but yeah, it's fine. Again, gunhead's also really good for enemies that are in your face like that. And then we're good to leave. Hunter just spawned in. Oh, another good thing about this extract is it's right next to this hangar right here, which usually has lots of quests that are related to it, like grabbing certain items, rescuing civilians, or the Red Baron will spawn here. But take note, once you push past a certain threshold. Oh. It's just drones. Usually it's a bunch of soldiers along with a European Exo. It looks like it's just drones this time, which is very rare, but you know what? I guess it depends on the status of, like, the other factions have here, but for the most part, that's a good extract that you can get through. Get lots of resources for relatively easily. And I'm gonna show off the next one now. Oh, stretch. Yeah, look at that. Lots of healing. Medical Trance usually has a bunch of those, and then we can open this gacha box. Gacha boxes are very worthwhile. They usually give you a bunch of weapons, including the USAS 12, which is one of the best guns in the game, or shotgun at least. S12s are pretty good as well, though, but yeah, just get gacha boxes if you can. They're they're usually worth it. Sometimes they aren't, sometimes they are. Alright, next map. I forgot to put all this in stash. I guess we'll just do this manually then, it's fine. In which case, I'll cut back. I'll be able to cut this. I'll be able to cut back to when I'm done. And then the next map. Oh wait, I'm stupid. Well, it's too late. It's too late now. Something I just realized I could have done was swapping rigs will empty out the inventory, so I could have done that instead. But anyway, next up, Mech Trenches, one of my favorites. And you want tunnel is usually a good route to take for quests, since it'll put you close to what you need to get to. Like let me look at the quests right now. Like, usually these guys will have quests like destroy the mech in the hangar, get the hacking, and then unplug life support. Starting a tunnel, you can go left, and just go there until you reach the stairs to go up, and you go left, and you'll find the server room with the hacking. Keep going forward, you'll find the hangar that allows you to destroy the mech. And usually the other guys here have quests for that as well. Like, deliver the part to the mech to fix it. Or deliver a part to the thing in the middle that needs a spare part to be fixed. But we're not going to be doing that. Best point adventure I found is the elevator, because that eliminates because if you go in from any other point, that elevator is a timed extract, and timed extracts are usually more difficult, especially for your character, or for Gunhead, since if you're in a weak condition where you can't afford to be grazed by any enemies, that can be a death sentence, because they usually spawn some to finish you off. or to prevent you from extracting. But elevator is your best bet because it takes you on a path that gets you to the hangar that has a bunch of loot, an easy pathway that avoids a lot of threats. Like usually all the exos that spawn in like you're gonna be able to avoid all the exos and mechs that spawn. Gotta be quick about it though, cause usually one spawns right up ahead. But you usually want to take that right exit in the tunnel if possible. Again, I'm just showing you that I know of that's best for you, or best for Gunhead. It's easy to do, easy to quick and easy. Just go up this way, climb up here. And at that point, you're basically home free. Like, you just gotta be careful about whatever you could run into along the way. You want to go up along this way. There's usually stuff down there, but I don't care about it. Again, I'm just showing you the best route where if you want to get in and out without dying as easily as possible, even if you run into some enemies, this is your best route. Although it looks like there's a European Exo in there. There usually isn't. But that's fine. Even despite that fact, with how they work, you can easily avoid it. You take your time. And even despite this setback, I should be able to get in and out pretty easily. Gotta be mindful. There's also here other enemies, and if I aggro them, that will draw the mech over, but that's fine. Oh yeah, they're coming. Again, same principle here. There's only one way up for them to get. There is that left way if you draw more squads. That is something to keep in mind, but I can do this for the most part, and I'll be relatively safe. That mech's gonna know I'm here, but it doesn't matter because he's not gonna be able to get to me. Come on, climb up. Melee is also pretty good in certain situations. Don't be afraid to use it if you have to. Again, the Exos can't get up here, so I have to steal these squads, and I should be fine afterwards. Don't mind my aim there. But now we're free to loot all these guys. Because it's a pretty safe area to fight up in, because there's lots of cover, lots of corners and choke points you can take advantage of. That mech should be right there. I don't know if he's still aggro or not, but for the most part, I should be able to avoid it. I don't think he can get up here, so we're just gonna loot these if we can. Main thing I'm worried about is that melee attack, so we're just gonna... It's going down that way, we should be good to go. Okay, actually, you forgot about me, that's perfect. Just loot everything that you can. I might as well loot that PMAG jump. That's a free double jump. Keep your distance. You'd open those hangar doors that'll take you out to the area that you climbed in. But I usually don't, because there's no reason to do that. This allows more enemies to get in, which is just more threats. The squad just spawned, but that's fine because we're leaving. Yeah, we're basically home free. So I gotta be a bit careful, but for the most part, we're safe. Let's keep following this route. Again, this mech has several quests associated with it, so it's with how easy a route it is to take, it shouldn't be too hard for you to do it. And if it's one that requires you to bring a part to it, take the other route where you enter from the tunnel, take the left hallway, and follow the left path until you get to the stairs that lead up to this room right here, which again, this also has quests associated with it. It's a bit more difficult to get through, so it might be a bit more difficult, but it will have a guaranteed item spawn Like, it'll guarantee the item spawns in your path for that quest that's associated for that mech. Because whenever you take quests for the items associated would usually be guaranteed spawns. But this path is pretty easy to take, because also, once you get out the exit... The way I came in also has a doorway that leads next to the Unplugged Life Support quest, which is also very easy to do. That means that's another easy quest. Right here, we're just gonna... What's going on over here? I don't know what's going on, but we're just gonna deal with these guys. Do keep in mind, you need to have line of sight with the enemy, which might be a bit wonky, but otherwise the gunhead will not work. Okay, drone's not shooting me, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Though with how many there are, this is very iffy. I'm just gonna run for it. Yeah, just run for it. Yep, we're fine. We have enough HP. Yep, we're fine. We're home free. And yeah, the extract's right there. It is through the door. Usually it's open though, so you don't have to worry. But that can be something that can catch you up if you're not careful. But other than that, that's a decent haul. Didn't get all that loot, but I didn't want to deal with all those drones, because surplus rifle, a full magazine is not enough to kill a drone, no matter what range you're at. It will need some additional fire from other weapons or just more ammo spent into it. So those, again, very annoying to deal with. So not worth the effort. And with my A, again, this was a scenario where if I had brought a different gunhead, it would have been better because they would have more range to work with. But I always rely on the AA-12 because it can kill basically anything in the game for the most part. Let's see. I guess I'll get that. Alright, next up, let's see, hold on. Let me just bring more ammo. I guess tighten the spread of my shotgun a bit. Yeah, okay, we're good. Alright. Next up, we're going to... well, I mean, it's a scrapyard nexus. There's one way in, one way out, but I guess I can showcase what I usually do. Because I do have a... No, I mean, I did have a quest for it, but I do have other quests that involve the brawlers, but I guess I can show what I usually do for this place. Now, technically... Oh, wow. Different variant. Something you do is start the extract right away. It'll stay open as far as I'm aware, even after you leave it. And you can just have it ready for you to come back to once you do. That will cause enemy spawn. I don't know if they'll stop spawning once it's done. I don't think they usually do. Again, those are also just spawn points in general, but this place, you usually want to take this route right here. Or, depending on what spawns, you might want to take that route down that way. That's a free gotcha box. Hold up. This is the alt version of the map right now, so it means different enemies spawn. Usually there's a bunch of brawlers and Eurasian forces, but we got Euruskans right now. Because they're currently in charge here. Or they're pushing into this place, but... What we're going to want to do is... With this route, it's very easy to get all the way from one end of the map to the other. And depending on what paths the enemies take, you might get lucky and not get intercepted, like but I am right now, which is very annoying. No, you're fine. We're fine. They usually don't come up from that way, but... Again, this place is very risky with how easy it is to aggro everything, with how close proximity they are to each other, but... You see that they're going down that way. I'm now safe to go this way. Just take your time. Be aware of your surroundings, and you should be fine. If you go this way, you can avoid the paths that they are taking, and you can just wait until a good opportunity presents itself to drop down. There's two. There should be one more. There's a third one that's missing. But they're coming back now, so it doesn't matter. Just take your time, wait. You can fall, crouch, remain crouched while falling, so you can stay safe. Yeah, they're getting into fights right now, so just take your time. Yeah, there's one like right on the other side of this wall, as you can see his flashlight, but you're safe here. They never take a route that'll take him to right there where they'll see him. Again, just wait it out. I think the guy that's up there is going down now. Yeah, this is also just like more knowledge you need, like learn how enemy patrols behave, how many each group consists of, of what and whatnot. Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait for them to go back upstairs, because it looks like the guy that they usually with is... You know what? That's fair. I was within their aggro range, and they did have line of sight on me. Here's where we take advantage of these stairs. Got staggered there, see? I got staggered there, but I was able to keep shooting, so I'm fine. For the most part, we're fine. It's okay. We're gonna grab what we can, then just leave, because again, I'm not here to do anything else. Plus I got a gacha box, so that's more worthwhile. Because gacha boxes usually free guns. Guns are expensive. Sometimes you get really good guns that you can't buy. So it's more worthwhile just to leave with it. But for the most part, you would drop down onto the walkway that's like that, and go all the way. It'll take you up to the stairs. You can basically get from one side of the map to the other without running into any enemies if you're lucky. With this map variant, though, it's harder to do, because the patrols are, well, you saw what they were. But now we're going to try and take the Hymen Extract. And something about this Hymen Extract to keep in mind, it can usually just spawn Spybargs on your sides. But it can spawn enemies down at the very end where you go with guns. So what you'll want, you don't have to stay on the extract in order to stay alive. So what I'll do is, I'll start that, run over here, take cover. Usually the enemies will just run around and not find me, because I'm in a spot where they can't see me. And they'll usually just run around and not find me, because you rarely go over here. And if anything where guns will spawn over there, well, I have cover, this is what this is for. And it looks like they're stuck anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's usually just a bunch of cyborgs. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, this extract can be easy, but it can also be difficult. I've seen drones spawn up there sometimes. And even with the most well laid out plans, something can go wrong. You have to be prepared for that, and it adapts. But it looks like I have an easy extract despite the damage I took. I don't see anything down that way. So we're just going to go over here. And this can be some free XP right here, along with some extra loots. Again, can't be bothered since they're hard to headshot with this, so I'm just going to... They're just trying to hitbox and whatnot, so we're just going to shoot them. Again, a lot of this is going to be whiskey and alcohol, but that's still money. It adds up over time, and if you sell a bunch of it at once, and how much time and effort it takes, it's literally takes nothing. And look at that, I've already got a decent haul, got a gacha box, and then we're in and out just like that.
Safe and sound.
Now we're gonna go to the next map for another extract. I guess I'll show what's in that gacha box as well. Let's see, M4A1, G36, M60, it's not too bad. Alright, and then region. Next area, Ashen Mesa. I highly recommend the bunkers, because if you don't, the bunker is a normal extract, but it usually has enemy spawn points, which you have to fight through in order to get to it, and even then, it still has enemy spawn points when you start there. Just something to keep in mind. And then the other one of the extracts on, although if you do start in the bunkers, your best bet's going to be right here, which is the Desolated Street, or not Desolated Street, but easy extract usually to get here. There's not that much of spawns around it that's going to be a threat. It's easy to get to if you know the route to take. City Ruins, your extract's going to be here with a bunker, or here, which usually you might run into something I usually run into, which is an XL with gunners around it, or a bunch of cyborgs that will alert me to. They'll get the cyborg alerted to it. But this is good route. Like this and the Desolated Street are good routes to take if you want to get to these containers here, where lots of big items are also at. But then the extract is usually the bunker or here, and those are annoying to deal with. But yeah, the bunker, you want to go to here because the other place is a timed extract, which is an enemy spawn point, so you almost are guaranteed to not get out if you're playing as Gunhead. But we're going to be taking the bunkers. I'm going to show you the best route to take. And, okay, I guess I can explain what some things about certain maps. Scorch Enclave is great if you have the rack. It has a little bunker you can hack open that's along the routes towards that extract if you enter from the cemetery. And along with those few explosives drawing on the ground, it's very easy to fill the rack very quickly. The Elephant Mausoleum. This is usually a good place for... I mean, the medical trenches is just a great place to get lots of healing if that's what you're after. It usually has some quests that are... Like, also another thing about the Elephant Mausoleum, if you have quests that's like hunt down the pilot, if you start from the ruins, the route you take to get to the sewer extract usually has the pilot you can get, and that's like a free 50k credits right there as well. Let's see. So that's an easy quest right there. Depending on how well are equipped, if you start from the sewers, you can get straight to that hangar, and if you can go to the other extracts, which I don't think there's any timed extract on this map, so they're not too difficult. But again, it's just how well equipped you are and what character you're playing that determines that. Next up, we've got the mech trenches. I've gone over what I said already, which is the tunnel. It has a good route for quests. They hit multiple ones at once, but it does have a rough starting point because it usually has enemy trolls that are blocking you, drones that'll fly over, so it's very hard to get out without getting running into some kind of confrontation. And then the trench is like in the middle ground. You have the tunnel and then the elevator, but the route you take is going to be littered with exos or mechs, and if you get inside, then you have to the points you have to get inside are very limited. I find the elevators best because you have an easy route along the right that has some quests along the way you can do as well really quickly, including the Plug Life Support, which is usually right next to it. And then you can get to the tunnel, and it's an easier extract. You get some... If you need to, you can go to the middle, get some resources there. Let's see what else. Oh, right, regions. Oh, okay. And then next, we just did Scripture Nexus. I mean, I've showcased how to get through it, kind of. It depends on the patrols. It's very easy to avoid the patrols. Just take those highways or low paths and get to the whatever quests you have, or take on the get enemies and then get the loot in the middle. It's usually good haul, but anyway. Ashen Mesa we're doing next. We're gonna go from the bunkers, and I'm actually gonna change my rig for this, cause thing about we want the heavy equipment gun runner. Do I want something else? Hold on, let me double check. No, I want the heavy container gun runner. There we go. I'm gonna grab like ammo. Because the Ashen Mesa has lots of... I'll explain. Let's see when was to get in. the route I'm gonna take usually has European Exos that have the USAS shotguns, which sell for 12k a pop when you loot them. They're usually engaged with a squad of cyborgs. I mean, half the time when you see Exos, they're gonna be engaged with like the Exos, and they're gonna be distracted, and then you can shoot them, and they're very easy to loot. But it looks like I got the alt version of this map. But even then, that's not an issue. You just gotta watch out for the Mother Courages and the Grabbers. But aside from that, just... It would have been better if I had the pack mule, but it's still not a bad rig for this. But lots and lots of these guys. Just scavenge what you can really quickly. Get in and out. And that's a good loot cycle. But yeah, I guess I'll do this map twice just to showcase what you're supposed to run into. But just take the route I'm taking. European Exos would usually spawn there. They're not guaranteed. Usually it's a bunch of gun forces fighting each other. In which case, you just want to along this way to avoid them. Otherwise, they will focus on you. And since you have very little cover to work with, that's a very easy way to get yourself killed. It's unfortunate that it's like I would like to call this map the Eclipse version, because you see that the sun is being eclipsed right now by the moon, which is really cool. Oh yeah, see, there's a grabber right there. Gotta watch out for that. Jesus Christ. Okay, he's gonna see him. He's gonna see. No, no, maybe not. Again, that maybe the time extract is viable when the map is like this, but it's not something I want to go for. We're just gonna go for that regular extract. Melee is a silent option, by the way, even if it's not an insta-kill. It's better than shooting your gun. Especially when there's things like grabbers nearby. For the most part, you can get those guys pretty easily without getting hit and taking damage. Oh, I've never seen this before. What's this? Those. Ooh, I'm out in the open. This is not good. Well, I might get to showcase how my character works. Well, against grabber. Alright. We need to make a run for it now. You cannot run grabbers, or brawlers, by the way, depending on your character. But as a gunhead, you're not going to be able to outrun them. Just keep an open line of sight with them. You're not going to be able to kill grabbers. They have too much HP to... Where even if an entire party were to bring a bunch of grenade launchers or anti-tank rifles, they're not going to go down. And even if they did, they're not worth the effort. They do not drop anything of value that would make all the ammo you spend worthwhile. Also get some resources out of this. You can see, yeah, if you think about this place when it's eclipsed, is enemy spawns are very high. It's gonna be lots of cyborgs, which always spawns in large packs. So you're gonna have to be fast. Where? Use the gunhead to shoot the other enemies behind me while I'm busy shooting at that guy, so he runs away. There's another thing is gunhead can target other targets they're not aiming at. Which does render the case I made for it aiming at the same as you're aiming at a bit mute or whatever, but maybe this is something you can toggle. But when you're in a scenario where you're trying to shoot at enemies and they're pushing right up into your grill and there's civilians off to the side or very far off to where they shouldn't be within your effective range, but your gunhead sides, it's going to shoot at them instead. That is very inconvenient and will get you killed. Because that effectively means your gunhead's not going to be able to do anything. Plus, no one wants to kill civilians. Yeah, we're going to try that again. We're going to go into the regular version of the map. I'm going to show you how it's usually supposed to be ran. Okay, we're good. Yeah, if an encounter of a grabber is unavoidable, even if you're not going to kill them, don't be afraid to pump ammo to them to scare them off. Okay, this is how it's usually supposed to be. And sometimes you'll have two guards right here, which if you're a character that can insta-kill, that's not an issue. You'd be able to stealth kill that guy on the left, and the guy on the right wouldn't even hear or see anything. Although my cat's getting in my lap. Yeah, but since I'm gunhead, I don't have that option, so... 2 shots, and that's all I need to do. And I get some free guns. And then we're gonna hurry along before our patrol cuts me off. Left, I used to take the left route, but usually I just run into a bunch of Eurasians if I did that. So what we're gonna do is we're going to the right. It'll help you avoid whatever spawns in the middle and on the left. You should be able to drop down without taking any fall damage. Here, then here. And off to the right, let's see. Nope, no Europans, just a bunch of those guys, in which case you want to run ahead over this way. Otherwise, reinforcements for one of the forces will come in from the left, and they'll cause you problems. But usually, if you're lucky, you'll see European EODs, which they usually spawn in packs of 3. And most of the time, they have USASs with 12, around 12k a pop, so that would be 36k just for their guns alone. And then whatever else you scavenge, that's really good. But yeah, for the most part, don't worry about them. Just gonna keep on running this way. See what else we can grab, if anything. Yeah, just don't stick out here for too long. It's a very hot war zone. Lots of mechs. Sometimes the chopper will spawn. Don't want to deal with that. We're gonna go this way. Maybe go along this path a little bit, because there is a container over here that I can usually loot. But enemies will usually be spawning over there. That'll engage you further. So the extract is a little bit difficult. It isn't too difficult to get to. Usually whatever spawns there will be distracted or left in such a weak enough condition that they won't be much of a threat afterwards. Yeah, watch out for that drone. They'll cause you problems if they see you. Go this way. Exos can spawn here, but usually they'll just get engaged with something that will lure them away. So just be mindful of what you're getting yourself into. It shouldn't be too difficult for me to push up over here. Pretty sure it's usually, yeah, your Ruskins. I'm pretty sure it's your Ruskin. Yeah, your Ruskin enemies. They usually have grenade launch. One of them usually has a grenade launcher, so be careful of that. But it is something you can loot. Looks like I'm gonna be able to get through now, yeah? Yeah, we're just gonna get out. Again, I'm just showcasing the routes I take, whether or not I'm productive with it or not. What's this? Discarded loot container. Oh. I thought it was that. Whatever, it's fine. Yeah, we're good. But again, this is just... Sometimes, like, this route isn't the most, productive like it was there. Usually it relies on USAS spawning, but that's fine. But the main point is it's safe, it's easy to get to. If you branch out to other paths, if you have the health or ammo for it, you can get more supplies if you need to. That's the easiest extract for that map, in my opinion. Within the route you can take, it's not that difficult. Alright, that just leaves the Frozen Swamp and the Underground Cemetery. Oh, something I should mention is maps with the Rat King, in case you are doing that for whatever reason. Scorched Enclave, Elephant Mausoleum, Ashen Mesa, as far as I'm aware, can spawn them here. Scorched Enclave, Ashen Mesa, Elephant Mausoleum, Scrapper Nexus can be Eclipsed, which is like the alt version of the map, as well as Underground Cemetery. But Mech Trenches and Frozen Swamp, from what I'm told, do not get that treatment, at least not yet. But Frozen Swamp It has a scavenger camp, which spawns you right next to where all the water thieves are. Which, if you have a quest to kill the water thief, that's pretty good because you can just Plus, if you want to get a bunch of water because for whatever reason you're struggling with water, that's a good place to go. Railroad tracks is a quest if you have the jammer quest where you gotta jam the nest of Eurasian drones. You go along the left here to the derailed train. You have the jammer, then you go over here and plant it, and it's really easy. Plus, then it's a bunch of free X. I don't know if it counts your kills or not, but lots of easy loot for the drones. Kills will just spawn infinitely. But that means the hunter kills are more likely to spawn faster. So, the Titan rank is good if you have the Titan quest, but in order to get this quest, you have to be at a certain relationship with another faction. And usually, for the scavenger camp, for these 3 extracts are on the outside, it means the extracts are either here and here, rail tracks here and here. There's usually a third one that's like somewhere over here or there. This map has the most extracts to entry point ratio. Whereas if you start an injection well, you get a whopping 6, because basically all the extracts you would have for the other entry points are available for the injection well. Which I'm going to show you. I think the injection well is the best entry point for Gunhead, in my opinion. I'm going to show you why. First, I'm going to try to at least. Because it also has a quest there, like where you have to hack the FOB control room. That's very easy to do. So hold on, we're just going to change our rig real quick back to the pack mule. Grab my weapon ammos. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and injection well, yep, we're good. And we're good to go. Now, the thing about this point, usually in order to get up here, you would take the stairs or the elevator. Those are going to be your main ways out. I would usually recommend, depending on what's going on, the elevator is usually your best bet, because once you reach down the bottom, there's rarely going to be anything that will pose a threat to you. Or there'll really be anything that'll aggro right away once you take the elevator. If you're confident enough, you can take the stairs. Usually they're turrets along the way, but those are you deal with. And then, if you're running any patrols, again, that's just, if you're in a condition to fight them, that's just more loot and resources for you. But usually stuff will be fighting each other up here, which means you're basically free to loot whatever you can, and then just go about your day and not worry about much. There are turrets in and around the area, but those aren't usually going to be a problem to you. Right there, you can see the Ruppins probably fighting some Euruskans. Just wait for them to kill them, to take care of each other, and then go along a route. That'll let you go into that room over there, which is where your quest is going to be, as well as it'll be a good way to get some loot. Looks like they're going up around this way, so we're good to move. We should... No, wait, hold on. What are they doing? It is a bit precarious, because enemies do spawn here, as well as one of them just fell to their death. I've never seen that happen before, but you know what, that's fine. But usually they will be preoccupied with other enemies to be a threat to you. I see USAS here. EODs have USAS as well. EODs like to take this route as well. Once you get into here, even if you do get found out, the turrets aren't going to be able to assist them. And since this is a room that has one entry point, and plenty of cover and corners you can take advantage of, you're usually fine. Like, you're not going to be put into a bad spot or anything like that. They do come in here, though. They have a patrol that takes them through this place. Plus, if they detect you, they're obviously going to do that, but that's usually not an issue. Usually, sometimes drones do get up here. It's very rare, but again, you're in a closed room. They're not going to really be able to do anything to you. And the turrets will usually take care of them afterwards, once they get close enough. So, again, nothing you need to really worry about. Even if the turrets get destroyed again, it's like they're drones. They're not that much of a threat. At least for you. Yeah, you can hear them getting into fights with whatever. Usually the elevator will need to be called up, which isn't that big an issue. Because you can run over here, activate it, and then go back, take the elevator, go back over there and wait for it to come back up. Or if you're bold, you can take the right route along the stairs. If you really want to get some extra loot, because there's usually containers and patrols along the way. But I'm going to be showcasing the safest route. That's what I care about right now. We just want to take the safest route where you'll run into the least resistance as little resistance as possible. So that way you'll be fine and safe. If you're in a scenario where you're you're low on health and resources and whatnot. We're gonna play it safe over here, wait for them to go away. We'll take the elevator down because they're gonna be hanging around. Yeah, they're gonna be taking those stairs a lot, so I don't feel like dealing with those. Because that can lead to you getting pincered if enemy spawns are unfortunate, or if enough enemy spawns that can lead to a fight dragging out longer than you like. But we're gonna take the lift. It's usually very safe. Very rarely will anything give you problems on your way down or way up. And you are very it's very unlikely for you to run into anything on the way down. Well, there are drones that might prove otherwise, but they don't seem to be should be too much of an issue. If they do, but I doubt they will. Yeah, plus they're gonna be getting fight for things. And usually there's a few containers around here or there they can get. That'll be nice and easy. Here are the USASs, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on. I'm still learning this map, so I might not know what the exact safest route is, but for me personally, if you go this way, while there's not a lot of cover on this map for you to take advantage of, if you do get found out, and certain patches of water will deal damage because they're too deep, but this route in particular I'm taking out seems to be the safest because it has the least amount of enemies you have to deal with. Usually, and if you do see some, they're very easy to avoid. Because the extract over this way usually doesn't have anything threatening around it, usually just a bunch of Eurasian crawlers. And if you fight there long enough, scramblers and regular cyborgs will show up, but that's usually nothing to worry about. And depending on what's in this Titan, if you're bold enough, and if there's no exos, though usually any other entry point, if you try going to the Titan, it will have an exo in the hangar, meaning it's not going to be easy for you to get in or out of. But if you spawn in from the Titan entry point, there usually isn't one. Yeah, see, so you just go in there, deal with the I mean, I probably could do it right now. I have to read. Yeah, especially while they're fighting stuff. I'm gonna take advantage of this.
Remove my safety.
They're busy with the cyborg, so this is easy for me to deal with. Keep in mind, once you deal with them, the cyborgs come after you, but they're easy enough to deal with. Do keep in mind, enemies do spawn around here, so keep them. But once you get up there, you're usually safe. Yeah, we'll just do this, loot everything that we can. Yep, we hear more enemies spawning, but that's fine. Also, it's very dark here, so you might want to have a rig light with you, or or up your brightness if you need to. Because it gets very dark here very easily. Or not very easily. It gets very dark here, so it's very hard to see usually. Yeah, I'm just gonna... 100 kills just spawned. Okay, you know, I would go up there and loot more, but we need to get going. Just gonna show you the safe extract to get to. But yeah, usually that's not a bad spot to go for loot if you want to get supplies and whatnot. But over here is one of the safest extracts I know of. Very rarely does it spawn anything that... I've not run into anything yet that is a threat. Other than, yeah, you see just some Eurasian crawlers, so they're not going to be much of a hassle. And if you do stick around to kill some for farming XP and whatnot, they'll usually... they'll just start spawning not drones, but like cyborgs and scramblers, or the ones that crawl around, that sprint around on their all fours, so it's not too much of a hassle. So turn to the innards, and then I will showcase the last place I know of. Well, not the last place I know of, but currently the last what should we call it? The last point of, or why am I starting with this? The last freaking area, and then I'll showcase the best route that I know of. Let's see. Yep, right. That's. Okay, let's class squads, regions. There we go. Region. Underground Cemetery. Now this one's depending on what character you're playing and the circumstances of quests you have and whatnot. Certain quests can make this place a lot more difficult and dangerous. Like let's see. Hold on. Do I have any that I can use as an example? No, I don't. But there is one quest that spawns a Europa Exo in the main room that has all the supplies. And then there's one quest that spawns European officers that command squads of scramblers, so that's something to keep in mind. But for the most part, if you know the route to take and which entry, my opinion, the maintenance tunnel is the one you want to enter from. It's the easiest, because getting from the maintenance tunnel to the pipes is easier. You have a lot more line of vision on your pathing to get to the next room without running into anything, whereas the pipes, the paths that you have are very easy to get intercepted by the grabber or the random patrols that it'll send through. As well as the maintenance tunnel will have access to plenty of doors that you can open or close to make it more favorable for you to get through. Anyway, there's also a little stash that if you have Humantic Jump to, you can get up to, and then that's a bunch of free resources as well. And it's a safe spot that nothing can get to, except for drones. But I've almost never seen drones there. They do spawn. I've seen them, but they're very uncommon. Yeah, this is the last map. I'm gonna do my best to try and get through as quickly, or not, as safely as possible. It depends on if it's the Eclipse version, which I don't think it is. But always stealth walk this. Okay, no, it is. Because if you see the flares that or not flares, but depending on the lighting, which if it's red or if there's flares at the beginning of the pipes, it's the Eclipse version where there's going to be a bunch of Eurasian Cyborgs. Okay, it sounds like the grabber's already here. This is unfortunate, but there's not a whole lot I can do. But even despite this Eclipse version, it's not too much of a hassle. Yeah, always be crouching, because usually there usually be a patrol that go around this room, go in that tunnel to the side, loop around, and repeat. It seems like the scramblers are doing the same. Let's take advantage of that. Shit, the grubber's right there. Where's the door? Oh boy! Ah! Running. Close that. Close it! Okay, I'm doing a perimeter scan of this room. If all the doors are closed, all the double doors at the very least, Wait, there's one over here. Gotta close that. There are some stairs that are wide enough here that they can climb up, that the grabber can climb up, but... Okay, now we are safe. The grabber cannot get into here. And this is very sad. This would have been a great opportunity for have the quest or have to find a logbook. But it doesn't look like I can, but... yeah, that was very unexpected. But you know what? We are safe now. But that showcases the advantage of this map where yeah, he's on your side of that door. Don't open it. Don't even get close to it. Chances are it might try and grab you through it. I wouldn't take your chances. Just now that this room's completely shut off, nothing else is really gonna spawn here. I'm safe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look around, grab all the loot and the containers that I can, but it doesn't seem I'm gonna find any. Yeah, very unfortunate with this spawn where it doesn't want to give me anything. Well, they can be on the outskirts where the rooms are at, but wait, no, it can't get in over here. It can't get to me over here, so that's fine as well. So, yeah. But I guess I can better showcase the route I would take that would be safer for you. But yeah, basically, you would want to get into this room, and usually there aren't too many patrols. If any, it's usually just the grabber. So what you want to do, like, let me showcase what I would do. Let's say the grabber's in here. Usually it will take a route around this area of the room. Sometimes it'll go up here if it starts detecting you, or if it does detect you, it'll be able to run up here so with how double wide it is. But if you go over, if it does detect you, best bet is to run over here onto stairs. Because it can't get down the stairs. If it runs up there, run down here. If it runs over here, run out there. You'll be safe. And then at that point, you'll want to choose which exit you want to take. Also, wait, is that the room? Yeah, there's the room right here where if you have pneumatic jump, you can get up there, and there's a bunch of supplies usually. Like, you can see them up there. Usually lots of big items and a few containers. So if you're carrying the rack, that'd be a good run to do it with. But usually you'd enter from here or down there, make your way to the stairs up here, and make your way up here. Because then you can circle around this area. And if there are patrols, or if there's a grabber, it's very easy to avoid it and to not run into it. Because you have lots of paths you can jump down, or you can just avoid the patrols and put you to different elevations. And once you're in a comfortable enough spot to start leaving, you can go out through this way, or any of the doors over this way. Keep in mind, this side, there is a divider between the outer ring of this room, right there, not there, but I'll showcase it once by walking over there. But yeah, but there's a route out to the next room, towards the exit is that way, but that's usually got patrols and grabbers along the way. The best route I would take, if you can, it's right here. See, there's the divider. That's where you can't get to the other side, other rooms. You'd have to go to one of the doors to that side, but ideally what you'd want to do is, hold on, let me open this door so I can better show you. What you want to do is you want to get up here if possible. Then just make your way across to here. Open the doors if you have to. But this is the most direct and safe route, because usually there won't be patrols along these paths. They sometimes do, but most of the time they are not up here. Like, you can hear them right now, but they're not going to be up here. And if they do, it'll take a while for them to get to here. You go to this room right here. You go up to the doors up there, and the exit is right out on the right, and that's the easiest route that I know of. That's worked for me the most consistently from getting from the maintenance tunnel entry point to the pipe extract. It's easiest that I found. Because usually the grabber will be stuck in the rooms over there if you spawn at the maintenance tunnel, and it means it's not going to be easy for it to get to you. Whereas if you spawn here, the grabber is going to be able to spawn in this side, in these rooms that can loop to that side where you have to enter from, or down over there into this room that you have to enter from, which means it can follow you from room to room all the way to the ring with the shrine in it, which just makes it way more convenient for you. Also, here I'm going to showcase the issue with the freaking whatchamacallit, the head gun locking on civilians. But yeah, if you were to enter from the pipes, if you aggro the grabber, it's going to be with you the entire journey of the map. Whereas if you aggro the grabber in the maintenance tunnel, you can block it off with the doors, and you don't have to worry about it following you to the pipe extract. But Cultist soldier. Okay, I'm dying here. Hold on. Okay, these guys are not pushing up, but usually, if you okay, the gun's not doing it around because it doesn't have high effective range. But usually, what would happen is, which I've had happen before, is if you're using other variants of the gun that have more range, what would happen is if you're trying to fight these guys here, they'll usually it'll lock on, like, granted, you can see it trying to lock onto them there. Even if there are enemies walking up here towards me, it would sometimes do that. It's not that prevalent of an issue, usually. And maybe it's something they're working on, but... because I haven't run into it as often, but just something to keep in mind when you're fighting with Gunhead. Yeah, we're just gonna grab all these supplies. And then that's pretty much it, I think, for all the maps and routes that I have to show that are safest, not just for Gunhead, for any other character that you're playing, because, again, most of the device I'm giving can also be applied to Gunhead. Or not Gunhead, but any other character. So that's just something to keep in mind. We're basically out of here. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Alright.
I am the weapon. Deciding to use it is a job for you humans.
Okay, that's all the maps, and that's pretty much all the notes that I have in Gunhead. Let me double check. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, basically that's pretty much it. That's how I play Gunhead. That's how I would recommend you play him if you are struggling to get things done with him. But for the most part, yeah, that's pretty much it. All in all, I would say Gunhead excels in close quarters combat the most due to his since he needs to minimize the damage he takes. Close quarters with tight and close spaces with tunnels and corners that you can mitigate line of sight for enemies on will be your best bet. And with how you can double the firepower you have with your gunhead and firing your primary at the same time, it effectively means you can gun down most things relatively easily without even taking damage, because they usually get staggered by the gun that you're shooting at them. So especially AA-12, that will keep them tied up. But for the most part, yeah, that's all I have for advice and tips I can give for playing Gunhead, and maybe even this game in general. But if you disagree with any of it, that's fine. I mean, this is just my opinion. It's all I have. I just felt like making this because I wanted to. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.